Who's this man?
What do you want from the Metro Police, who you say did this thing to you?
These officers that do me this terrible, wicked act, I need justice. Justice.
I was born, grew up, and was educated in this island of Jamaica. So when Audrey Smith came to me at the Toronto Star, where I'm a writer, and told me her story of being strip searched by the police in metropolitan Toronto, I took her seriously. Not because I have any axe to grind with the Metro Police, but because I know the Audrey Smiths of this world. They're poor, simple, honest folk who have little else but dignity. And when this dignity is abused, they want the wrongs righted. What she wanted was somebody to say, Audrey Smith, I am sorry the police officers stripped you on the road. They shouldn't have done it. Instead, what she got was accusations that she was a drug dealer. She was told she was one of the Jamaican women who lifts her clothes over her head to expose her backside when she's stopped by the police. Things that she didn't understand. She thought she would get what she called simple justice. Audrey Smith was a mystery to us. She's someone we had never seen in Metro before. So we followed her to Jamaica, to where she lived, to see what sort of person this was. Was she a drug dealer, as the police were saying, or was she what she said? What we found was a simple, honest woman who lives on a piece of land that she captured, that's the Jamaican parlance for squatted on an old municipal dump in New Nursery in Spanish Town. She lives in a house she built with her own hands, with a handicapped husband and her 4 surviving children. She ekes out life day by day. This is not a woman, as you will see, who is at all wealthy. She's a woman who works hard and who is honest to a fault.
For the light along the shore, let the lower lights keep burning, send a gleam across the wave.
People such as Audrey Smith dare not challenge the authority of a group as powerful as the Metro Police unless what has been done to them is grievous. Audrey Smith's case was allowed to become an international cause celeb that was picked up by the CNN News, turning it into a national embarrassment for Canada.
While I was sitting there, the police car drove up and the officer said, "What's your name?" I said, "Shirley." He said, "Surname?" I said, "Oh, you mean like that? My name is Audrey Smith." He said, "What charges are you on?" I said, "Charge?" He said, "What charges are you on?" So then he came out of the car, put on the handcuff. He was saying, so I was telling him, "I'm a visitor here. I spent 6 weeks here last year and I'm now spending 3 months here." He said, "Someone told us that you are carrying drugs in your body." I said, "Do I look like a person who uses drugs?" He said, "Yes, I can see it in your eyes." I said, "Officer, I don't even smoke cigarettes." He said, "Look here, if you give me the drugs, I charge you for possession. But if you let me have to fine you, I'm going to charge you for trafficking." So then, you know, I was wearing the handcuff. You know, he put me in the car to sit down. I was sitting down in the police car. He was saying, "Are you going to give me the drugs? Are you going to give me the drugs?" I said, "Officer, I don't use drugs. So if you think I have drugs, go ahead and look for it. He said he could not do it himself. He would have to get a female officer to do it. I think he was going to take me to the station to search. I wasn't expecting it on the street. So then the female cop, she came now with her gloves and her flashlight in her hand. Yeah, so when she come over to me, she bent to lift up my dress. So I said to her, it can't lift up because it's a jumper. So she said, pull your button, and I pull my button. And she hold the two shoulder, drop it to my feet. She feel my bra, she feel my panty. There wasn't anything there. So she said, pull your panty down, and I pull my panty down. She said, bent over, and I bent over, and she looked up. So after looking up, she said to the officer, she's clean. You know, I was there naked. I began to pull up my clothes. And then I said, this place is the worst place I've ever been. And the officer, which was the driver, said to me, this is the best country I've ever been. You better leave this place. Pull up my clothes. As soon as I walk over to the bus stop, there was this man who came over to me and said, where you do? Lord, I saw your pussy fat. I say everything. That was what happened.
This then is the Audrey Smith that in September a complaints tribunal will sit in judgment over. Will they believe her story? Will they believe the story of a woman who, because of news networks, became to millions all over the world the woman who was stripped in the streets of Toronto? It will be a test of the complaints process against the police, and it has wider implications. If a visitor to our city, Metro Toronto, is proved to have been stripped on the streets, what then happens to we in the black community who live there?
When Audrey returned to Toronto, she was hopeful and expecting to receive the simple justice that she so eagerly sought. In contrast, she herself was put on trial through the media with allegations of improper activities, and was subjected to delay tactics necessitating further trips back to Canada before she was allowed to explain her story.
She's disappointed and demoralized and quite dissatisfied with this entire charade.
But there's no way she's going to withdraw her complaint?
No, it's a serious complaint. They should be held accountable for what they did. They stripped a woman naked on a public thoroughfare. They should get away with that.
As for my daughter, who works with the government, sometimes she feels very upset about it. Because then, you know, everyone in her office know that her mother was strip searched in Canada. It is very humiliating for her. As for Jessica, she's in high school. Sometimes she would come home and say, Mommy, children teasing me. That police take off my mother's clothes in Canada. You know, there's this man who lives in my community, and you know, he has a sign on his fence, woman, mother of the earth. And you know, all men come from a woman's body. So I think every man should respect us, regardless of our race, regardless of our personality, regardless of our standard of living.